Alright, so this is a video on the proofs we're going to do. We're going to do not statement reasons proofs is what I've done in the past and you may have done in the past in junior high. We're going to do an essay style of proof. This is more of a talking that out and reasoning with your thoughts. It's actually the thing that I want us to do all the time and what I want you to be doing all the time whenever you're solving any equation, any problem. You're actually justifying your answers, but you're doing it in a way that's just easier to say. It's just like you're talking, you're writing, just like that. So, what we're going to do is we're going to use any definitions that we have, any theorems, postulates, whatever, in order to do these proofs. And since we're with parallel lines, that's what our proofs are going to be about. They're going to be about proving things with parallel lines here. So, to start, we are going to prove that angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. So the first thing I want you to say anytime you do this is I want you to state what's going on here. And I didn't label these, so let's label these lines A and B. So let's just state anything that's given to us in the picture that we know. So we can just write, I know that line A is parallel to line B. I know that from the picture, because if we look right here, we know this symbol, this arrow, means that the lines are parallel. And you see that I drew something on the picture there. Because I drew something on the picture there, I can actually put a little star here to help whoever's reading this proof know that's what I'm talking about. So I know that line A is parallel to line B. And the star means, hey, look at the picture. Where I put a star says that's why they are parallel. So it's just like an extra way for you to explain to somebody, that somebody being most likely me, that you know what you're talking about, and then this is where you should look, man. So, we now know that A and B are parallel. Well, if we look at where 1 and 2 are, we know from our previous lessons that these are alternate exterior angles. Well, we know that all alternate exterior angles are congruent. So now I can say that angle 1 is congruent, and you could actually be writing out the words parallel congruent, to angle 2 because they are alternate exterior, and if you wanted to abbreviate alternate exterior, that's fine, like AE, angles. So, this is one way to prove it. This is actually the fastest way to prove it. There are tons and tons of ways to prove it. We could have said something about angle 1 being vertical to an angle here, and then we could use corresponding angles if we wanted to. There's all sorts of different ways to prove these. It's whichever way you want to do, and as long as it makes sense and the math works. And yes, this is math. Math is all about reasoning and using logic. So we are doing math here. This is the part of math that I like. That's fun. It's like a puzzle that you're trying to figure out, and there's a million different ways you can figure out the puzzle. And they're all correct. It's just, did you do it in the right way? So here I have an example I want you to try. So I want you to prove that angle 3 is congruent to angle 4. Use the same ideas as before, type of thing. And I know I didn't indicate it, so let's do this indication here. Let's call this C and let's call this D for the lines. So sorry about that. So go ahead, pause the video, prove it. So here's my proof for that. I just went the shortest route. If you proved it a different way and you're not sure that it works, ask me. I'll take a look at it. And if you didn't use box, use the star again there. That's totally fine too. So check your proof with mine. See if you have any questions. If not, we're going to go on to the last one. And this says, prove angle 1 is congruent to angle 3 without using corresponding angles. So we can't use our corresponding angles, Posh, to do this. So we have to get a little inventive here. And I just realized I made a mistake. We're going to go back. I said same side interior angles. I was wrong. It's alternate interior angles. Alternate interior angles. You probably noticed that and you said, hey, what's going on? It should be alternate interior angles. Sorry about that. I'm not redoing this video either because I want you to know it's okay to make a mistake as long as you figure it out and fix it. So, for real now, let's do this. So again, silly me, I forgot to put the parallel lines in. So A and B are parallel lines. So we're going to prove angle 1 is congruent to angle 3 without using corresponding angles. That means we're going to have to use probably angle 2 because it's hanging out there to figure this out. So we started with I know that line A is parallel to line B. So let's just say that again to start. I'm not going to do the star or whatever. There. I also know, and there's different ways you could do this. You say, I know angle 1 is congruent to angle 2 because of vertical angles. Now, I'm going to add something in. I'm going to add in angle 4. So I'm just going to write add in angle 4, and I am going to put a star there so we know to look where the star is. So here's our star, and we can add stuff in because it's there. We just have to give it a name. So that now is angle 4. Why I wrote out the word angle, I don't know. Angle 4. So I can say that angle 2 plus angle 4 equals 180 degrees because they are same side interior, same side interior angles. Now I'm going to say that angle 3 plus angle 4 equals 180 degrees because they're a linear pair. Now I can say so. I can say that angle 2 is congruent to angle 3 because they are both congruent to angle 4. That's called the transitive property. Transitive. Spelling will not be counted. And then we can just say, therefore, angle 1 is congruent to angle 3 because they are both congruent to angle 2. And that's the transitive property again. I like to think of the transitive property as a duh property. So there's my proof. It's a little long, but it's just because I had to write and everything. It's just when you speak it out, it's pretty quick. Now there's another way to prove that angle 1 and angle 3 are congruent, and it's actually a lot faster. So I want you to go ahead now. You're not done. I want you to write another proof for this on your own. And then when you're done, let me see it. We can go over it together. When I check your notes for this, I am going to look for that proof. So if you don't do that proof, you're going to have to then. So it's better to get it done now than later. So go ahead and do that now. After you finish it, let me know and you're done with the video.